Are you trying to make a major change or any change and you're starting to feel stuck or a little overwhelmed? Today, I'd like to share with you a few lessons that I learned when I sold it all and started to live an independent or location-free lifestyle. Hi, I'm Teresa, and welcome to my channel. So you're in the middle of planning, you're ready to make a few changes, and all of a sudden things are seizing up and you're questioning all your questions. I can totally appreciate that. I was diagnosed with cancer for the third time, and I think that gave me the push I really needed to really dive in and make a change to my lifestyle that I had always wanted to try. Now that I've been doing this for about 6 months, I'd really like to share with you a few things that I learned or maybe just had to be reminded of. And if I can share them with you, I hope that it would help you cut through everything and dive in and make the changes for yourself that you'd like to make. 1, you're smarter, stronger, and way more capable than you give yourself credit for. When you, or I should say, when I started going through and doing my research and telling people I was actually doing this, there wasn't a lot of people doing what I was doing. So support was at its minimum. And I started getting a little bit overwhelmed because the questions started coming and some of them were quite different, and a lot of people just wanted to know a lot of why and where and how. I guess I didn't have all the answers. And through that, I started to get a little overwhelmed. And then I just had to realize, whoa. I have done a lot of things in my life where I only had so much information, and I had to deal with that and only deal with that and then worry about that next bridge when I get to it. So lower your expectations a little bit. Realize that you're the person that goes to the store, goes to work, in my case, takes care of kids, and I had to raise 3 children on my own. And now looking back, and when I stand for a moment and I just breathe and know that everything's all right now, that same person will get me forward. Maybe I just need to lean into it a little bit, calm down, and enjoy. 2, possessions have weight, and we have way more stuff than we need. When I went around to tell people that I was doing this thing, going to live a location-free lifestyle, I also said I'm selling everything. I didn't want my children to have to store it. I didn't want to pay storage fees. And I really realized a lot of the stuff I had to do or had was to do with something I was going to do. It has been completely freeing to get rid of all of these items. I don't have to physically take care of them, nor do I have to mentally store them in my mind and worry about them while I'm out and about. 3, the world is not so different. Whether you're at home, across the country, or across the world, it's just filled with people like us. We learn a lot of our viewpoints about the world from school, other people's travels, the media, which is not so trustworthy nowadays. And in that, whether it's from somebody that's even super close to us, we're still going to get it from their perspective and if they have some sort of agenda involved. Best thing we can do is get out there and experience it. You can get twisted in your head just from going from one side of town to the other side of town because you're used to your local neighborhood and you're not used to that neighborhood over there. But we are so fortunate in this day and age. There's no maps and you don't have to worry about, which way's the wind blowing or the moon going. There's Google Translate. There's Google Maps. There are people that even though you can't speak the same language as them are so willing to help. I do suggest when you're out there that the 2 things you could do is learn hello in another language and thank you in another language. The rest can be done with a lot of pointing and gestures, whether it's needing to know where something is or a price. But for the most part, we can generally get by on a couple of words and gestures to get to where we're going. Get out there, whether your world's going to be across your city, across your street, maybe even a different floor in your apartment block. Risk it a little bit. 4, money isn't everything, but a budget is important. Life lessons have proven to me that you may not get the chance. For me, I would like to retire my way. So ask yourself, can I make a workable budget that would work for me now and what I would like to do and later? Transition takes a bit of time. Is there something that you're paying for that you don't need to be paying for? Is there someone you're paying for that you don't need to be paying for? Is there a workable budget that I can make where I can possibly do what I'd like to do today and what I'd like to do in the future? So for me, I'm out there every day, all the time, but you can't be on vacation all the time. Or maybe you can if you are bankrolled in that way. I am not. So my budget is very limited. And not only that, is I would still like to save for my future, which is what I'm doing. So I'm making sure that my plans and my travel has to stay within a certain amount of money so that I can put the remainder away for my future. Because health or not, I plan on being here for a very long time. So are there changes that you would like to make and that you're really having trouble with, or that you've already made and you're really happy that you've worked through them? I'd love for you to share them in the comments below. I would have a great time hearing from you and reading anything you have to share. And last but not least, 5. Being alone can be very inspiring, and we're never really alone, are we? A lot of people were, kind of shocked. 60-year-old woman, and you're going to head out there alone, and what? You have a backpack and a suitcase, and that's it. And then you really have no home when you get home. I'll be surfing my children's couches. For me, even when I was so busy day to day, I would get home and I had a routine. I like routine. It can be somewhat boring, but it's also dependable. Also, having, I think, gone through this cancer journey and all that's involved and that constant interaction, even though the constant going on, the break from everything and everyone has been a blessing in the long run. It's like a reset. And sometimes, and at least for me, I needed to physically go away and physically do things and put things into action to make those changes. I've never really had a problem with being alone. I think I prefer it. When I'm around other people, I can tend to get a bit anxious, and because I'm into this teacher, talker, trainer mode, I feel like I'm constantly telling myself, be quiet, be quiet. So it really is nice to go, instead of be on, I can go home and be off. This travel, this journey, this independent, location-free lifestyle really allows you to be kind of off all the time. When nobody knows you, or you don't have this kind of built-in expectation of how the day should be, you can be so calm with yourself. The last 6 months or more of me being alone or out there on my travels has taught me to be more confident in my decisions. And just, I guess I feel like I know that as I keep making these right decisions, that the next one and the next one's going to be more in line with my happiness. And that's what I'm ultimately looking for. It's about me. These are the me years. Is that what it is? You've lived long enough, and maybe you don't have to be this old. If you can do this way earlier and start concentrating on you and get your hands out of the media and get a little more quiet, you don't really have to have everyone's approval, because in the long run, nobody really cares anyway. We're really all in our own heads about our own things. So get right with being alone. I don't know. I think it's a pretty cool concept. Changes can be very intimidating, especially when they're major ones and we don't really know where we're heading. We can fill our heads with all the questions that we don't have, or we can fill our heads with the answers that we have. My suggestion to you is to move forward on the answers that you have. Yeah, when we were younger, or if you don't have any bad experiences, you might be apt to move quicker than others, or your level of risk is higher. But as we age, fear and doubt gets in the way instead of excitement, or the risk level is right down if you've lost money before, or you don't have a mass bank account, or you have a health issue. All I know is you have to live your life now. Whether it's the same way forever, you're about to head into transition, or you're going to make a clean jump quick and do it right away. Yeah, it's time to live it now. Change is scary, but change is fantastic. I really thank you for joining me on this journey today, and look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Talk soon. Bye.